Alright, so I'm going to give you some help on worksheet 10.4, number 3F and H. Okay, so on 3F, it wants to know what is 32.5% of 60. Alright, so I think the best thing to do probably first is to turn 32.5 into a decimal. Well, once you do all the figuring, because you'd want to turn it into an improper fraction first. So 32 times 2 is 64, plus 1 would be 65 halves. Okay, and then once you divide that down, you're going to come out with 32.5. because that's 32.5%. So that would be the first thing to do, would be to change the fraction into a decimal. Alright, and so it wants to know what 32.5 is of, hold on just a second, I've got something in front of me that I should have put up and I did not. Okay, sorry. Alright, so what we're going to do then is we're going to take this, because this is 32.5%, because remember that this was percent. So we changed it over from a fraction to a decimal, but it's still percent. Now, it wants to know what is, remember, I told you how to, I hate to do this. Oh, I tell you what I'll do. Let me do it this way. I can use this. This is the way one of my teachers taught me how to do these problems. He was a mean old man, but he was good at math. Okay, so what is, I'm just going to put it with the decimal, 32.5% of 60. Oops, 60. Okay, so this is what my teacher said to do when they taught me this. Once you have these equations written out, you can fill in, what do you call it? You can fill them in with more information to actually make the equation. Okay, so what is, remember is equal. Okay, so what is, this is going to be n, this is just going to be our number that we're trying to find out. So what is 32.5% of, remember of means times 60. So that means we have to change this number into a decimal. So to go from 32.5%, remember what we have to do? We have to undo it. It means we have to divide it by 100. So we're moving the decimal twice, because remember 100 has two zeros. So we're going to end up with 0.325. And then to figure out this, you just work this problem. 0.325 times 60. Remember, of always means times, and is always means equal. So if you know those, then it's generally, for myself, it generally makes it easier to kind of just fill in everything else. And then you're, rather than having the problem written out with words, you're actually left with an equation, which for me is easier. So anyway, that's how you work that. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, then you needed help on letter H. Let me turn over here to this one. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay. It says if the blue square is 25.12% shorter than the red square, and the red square is 5 inches long, how long is the blue square? It says, hint, this is a multi-step problem. All right, first of all, we need to take 25.12% and change that into a decimal. Remember how to do that? 2 places to the left, because we're multiplying, so we're left with, well, 0.25 1, 2. Okay, so then you can multiply that by 5. And then if you multiply 0.2512 by 5, you're going to get whatever answer you get, whatever this answer is. Remember, the question says, if the blue square is 25.12% shorter than the red square and the red square is 5 inches long, how long is the blue square? So when you get, and remember it said it was multi-step, so your first step is to multiply this to see what percentage of 5 this is. And then whatever this answer is, you're going to subtract that from 5, and that'll be the answer. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you. If you're still cloudy on it, just let me know and I can explain it a little bit better. Okay? All right, that's all then.